It's happy Friday. It is almost 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, we're starting the vlog at a little weird of a time today because all day I have felt like death. And in the middle of the day, you know how they do the school activities where your kids' activities are like right in the middle of the day when it's the most inconvenient, and like people that actually work, have jobs, or even if you work from home, it just is not very, who does an event at 2 when the school's over at 3 and the event is 35 minutes long? Anyway, I didn't want to start the vlog early. And all day I've been waiting for our wild grain order that you guys saw me place last week. Do you guys remember I was showing you like, oh my God, I got the notification, our box is getting mailed out. So it's been out for delivery since 9:30 this morning is when I got the notification, out for delivery. So excited. Usually it arrives within an hour or two. It's about 7:45 and it just arrived. So I thought, what better place than the vlog to check my paid order and see if it's still frozen that many hours later. This could blow up in my face. Let's find out. I'm not really in the mood to have things blowing up in my face right now. So you can tell it's nighttime in the hood. Okay, hold please. All the mosquitoes are gonna come inside. All the moths, the little baby rats. I'm afraid. What do we think? Vote. You guys have to vote before I bring it inside. The box doesn't feel super chilly, but it's also 90 degrees outside. I'm very afraid. Old people sounds. You're welcome for that double chin. Screenshot it, send it to your boyfriend. He will find it very seductive. Okay, give me a second to remove shipping labels so you guys don't show up at my house and bring me puppies. Actually, let me think this through. Flashes address on the screen. I'm sorry, do you have a litter at home? Because, oh, the box feels very cold. Wow, that's crazy. Because here's the thing, my concern isn't like, oh, it's been out for delivery since 9:30 this morning. My concern is, when was it originally packed? Because you got to factor in that plus the travel time. And this time it was delivered with On Track. And y'all, I only get my Temu deliveries from On Track. Wild grain usually comes from a different courier. So, moment of truth. All right, here we go. Here, let me show you guys the time so you guys don't think there's any funny business happening here. See, it's still 7:45. Still my perishable box. It's a little warm sweater. Okay, it's still very cold in here. There is a little chunk of dry ice. Okay. Oh, this is a really big chunk of dry ice. How do you guys keep dry ice? Because I was wondering, like between now and Halloween, I'll have probably, well, I already lost 2, but I would have had like 3 or 4 wild grain deliveries of dry ice I could have saved and then used them on Halloween to like creep out the kids, you know? But how do you store it? Because I tried putting it in the freezer. Don't laugh at me. I'm not a science person. I tried putting it in the freezer and it all just evaporated and just, there were just bags in the freezer. It was so sad. Oh my goodness. Oh, did you hear that? It's the knuckle test. Did you hear that? It's the knuckle test. Come here. Come here. Want to say hi to your friends? Okay, here we go. Knuckle test. Ow, I don't want to do the knuckle test anymore. We got 1, 2, 3. Boom. And then the 3 little bags. These are so cute. 3 little bags. These are the 8 packs of the little tiny baby sourdoughs. And then I couldn't resist. This was my absolute favorite 2 boxes ago, the blueberry biscuits. The blueberry biscuits don't come with frosting. The pumpkin ones did. And somehow the pumpkin ones aren't as sweet as the blueberry ones. Both very delicious, but you can't really compare blueberry to pumpkin. You know what I mean? Like, just like apples and oranges. Pumpkin's delicious, but I don't want it in my coffee or aside from my pie or maybe a loaf. But the blueberry biscuits, no frosting, absolutely delicious. Just the right amount of sweet. And then I have a secret confession to make about this one, but I will do it later in the privacy of my own office. Remind me to tell you guys about the fudge brownies. Also, before you forget, add them to your next basket. I think they're called bread baskets. Like you build your own basket. Add it to your next basket, and then we'll talk about it later in like a little girl happy hour moment. Add it to your basket. But everything is frozen, even though it was out for delivery for like 12 hours. My day may just be turning around. I feel like a dumpster fire wrapped in something bad, and then something smelly, and then something broken. Let's just be vague. I don't know, I'm just not feeling any better, and I had all of my follow-up appointments. I did all of the branch off appointments, go to this doctor, go to that doctor, get this test, get that, and everything's fine. Lo and behold, your blood work's fine. Your blood works fine. Okay, ma'am, then why do I want to jump out of my car while it's in motion and I'm on the highway? Okay, I'm being facetious, but still, you guys, it's awful. So I jumped on our neighborhood app and I was like, hey, y'all, I only jump on here when I need something. Does anyone have any functional medicine doctors that you recommend? Not that you've heard of or that you saw on somewhere, or that like that you know, like your sister-in-law goes there, you made an appointment for your wife there, like you personally, you run this clinic, you personally, directly have experience. I got a list of like 8, but also I am an overthinker, and I go down this massive spiral and rabbit hole of like too much research or overthinking or worrying about stuff. And I thought, you know, my pandas were the ones that said, you need to go to a hormone doctor, or you need to go to a holistic doctor, you need to go to a functional medicine doctor. Like, this idea was yours. And I'm empowering you guys. If I were to leave a list of, say, 5, like the top 5 recommendations in the description of this video, you guys are better web sleuths than I am, right? Like, could you guys, I don't know what to look for. Maybe you have experience with a functional medicine doctor and you know what to look for. You're like, no, that lady's just gonna give you Botox. That might make me happy though. So if I do that, would you guys like web sleuth it up for me? Because that would be really nice, and I would really appreciate it, because I am tired of feeling like I should be dragged away by a raccoon and eaten behind a dumpster. Anyway, we have a busy weekend. Daniel has a tournament. It's his very first tournament at the Mavs ballpark. If you guys are unfamiliar with Dallas, also, I need to put this bread away. If you guys are unfamiliar with Dallas, we have this really cute turf field in downtown Dallas that is sponsored by the Dallas Mavericks, the basketball team. Yeah, it's a little weird. And so it is this adorable, like, small field that's in the middle of downtown, which is like, it is the most ironic thing, because for us, I mean, maybe this is normal where you're from, like you live in an urban neighborhood or like one of those like really big cities, and it's super normal. I'm gonna put you in the freezer because what else would you be doing with a wild grain order? And so it is a turf baseball field. You might get a little shaky, but it's fine. It's because you're in the freezer. It's a turf baseball field that's really small, but it's in the middle of downtown. Like the big banking buildings, enormous. It just seems really ironic, you know, because here where we live in the suburbs, like the parks are way fancier, bigger, wider, very fresh and very green. Like, we can't play games when it rains because we mess up the field. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out in my freezer. I think this is the first for both of us. Was it nice? I bet it was nice. Just chilling in the freezer. I've never done that before. What did it feel like? So yeah, when we pay so much attention to our natural fields, like our baseball fields, we're like, we can't have games because it rained. So then getting to go in the middle of downtown to this really small field where like you can actually see all the players up close and just watch them play. And this is a field that we've been to many times, but where was I going with train of thought? We've been there many times, but it's only for Mateo, because it's for big kids. So do you know what that means? It means Daniel's a big kid. I don't know what I did to my algorithm, you guys, but all of my reels on Instagram now are about the totem pole of children in your house. Like firstborn be like, lastborn be like, and they're all extremely accurate, and I feel attacked because in my head, the joke or like the satire part of it is extremely justified. However, it also kind of triggers all of Mateo's triggers. Anyway, what was I telling you? Oh yeah, the top secret information. Are you guys ready for the top secret information? Okay. So Wild Grain has like really good pastries, right? Like we've talked about this. The pumpkin biscuits, the blueberry biscuits, the chocolate chunk cookies. You guys, underbake them a little bit. I wasn't sure if I could say that in the sponsored video that I posted last week. If you underbake them a little bit, I know you're not supposed to eat raw dairy at your own risk. Underbake them a little bit and then eat them with a spoon with like a dollop of fresh whipped cream or even a Cool Whip, like we've done that before, or ice cream. It is bomb. Okay, but there is the fudge brownies. I order those in secret and I bake them when nobody's home because I don't like to share them. Look, as a mom, a mental load bearer, and the house manager, the very first thing that falls to the wayside is ourselves. If we have something to do and the kid is sick, we cancel our hair appointment. If they change the baseball schedule and blah, 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 we cancel our girl time. If the kid is something, blah, 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 emergency, we don't go to the gym or to Pilates or whatever. Like, we are the ultimate sacrifice for our families. It is what it is. Heck, even today, I don't remember what we were talking about, but Parker's like, oh yeah, you know, I have a really busy day at work and it's so stressful and blah, blah, blah. And after I get home and I go to the gym, I'm like, what is that like? What does that feel like? To just, at the end of the day, you just ultimately prioritize yourself no matter what. I need to get better at that. I'm hella salty because I'm terrible at it. But I will say this. What I'm trying to come full circle is when I order those brownies, I order them and I don't tell anybody I ordered them. I bake them when nobody is home and I don't share them with anyone. And if I can't eat them, like I can't finish the tray, I wrap it up and I hide it in my room. I really had to get that off my chest because secrets are only secrets when they're funny or fun and you can share them with your friends, which in turn, they're not secrets anymore, which is not a bad thing. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And I'm really happy that even though my delivery was out for like 12 hours, everything is frozen and therefore my brownies aren't ruined. Did I hide the brownies in the freezer? Yes, I did. I did. It's a whole thing, you know, this is why they say you can't lie because like you have to then lie again to cover the lie and then you have to lie something. So it's like all of the complications, like I have to order it in secret. I have to hide it in the freezer. I have to find the perfect time where I am stressed, but craving brownies, but also nobody's home. I have to have the appetite of an ADHD person not on medication. And if I don't finish the entire tray, I have to come up with a valid excuse and survivable method of storing perishables in my bedroom. Don't be a liar. Nobody likes liars, okay? So about our weekend, I don't know how we're getting so far off track. My headache is so bad that every time I laugh, it feels like my head is going to explode, but like my head is going to come out of my ears. Can you see my headache? I feel like you can see it. Because this whole part of my head here and then back here feels like it's throbbing, but like externally. I don't know why it's funny. I think it's funny because I'm probably dying. So we are at the mercy of this tournament all weekend. I really hope my headache goes away because I don't know how I'm going to drive to downtown tomorrow. I will take the DART. So we're at the mercy of this tournament. 2 games tomorrow. We should be done by 1, which is nice. It might be the light. It might be the light that's making it worse. We should be done by 1, and then Sunday, we don't really know what time our game will be. It depends on how we place tomorrow. And then it's like sudden death. I know it's not called that, and co-parents always like, don't call it that. I'm like, it's what it is, bro. It's sudden death. You lose, you go home. is what So we're at the mercy of that. It'll probably be a morning game, and then we'll be done like mid-morning or around lunchtime as well, which is kind of nice. Last time we played there for Mateo, we had a terrible storm, and they delayed the games like 4 hours because of lightning, and it was bad. We just left. Like Parker and I just left. We took Daniel with us. We're like, it's late. It's cold. It's wet. It was like pee and vomit. Like, we can get out of here. So we left, and we left coach or co-parent with Mateo to finish his game. Hopefully, I don't think there's any rain on the horizon, but I really do hope that I feel better by tomorrow, because it would not be fun to suffer this way at a baseball game, especially when I have my loud cup, you know? Like, that'll just make my headache worse. I won't. I know what you're thinking. Like, just don't use your loud. Like, that's not an option. Anyway, you guys, that is it for Friday night. I accidentally fell asleep, and the notification that the delivery at my door, the delivery for the bread delivery, the notification for the bread delivery at my door is what woke me up. So then I showered, and now I'm talking to you guys, and I should really figure out what medicine to take. I am terrified to take my Triptan and naproxen combo, because after the rash I got last time, oh my God, that was terrifying. My hands were red and swollen and splotchy. Apparently it's a common reaction to those NSAID, you know which medications I'm talking about, the ones with the blood flow action side effects. Then I don't know what to take. Coke didn't work. Ibuprofen didn't work. Prayer is clearly not working. So I think my only alternative at this point is jumping out of a second-story window. Perhaps that might work. Good night. Hey, you guys. Happy Saturday. It's about 9:45. I think you guys can hear Ramon. Oh, he flew away. He's the crow that likes to stand on our fireplace and like scream and tippy-tap really loud. He's adorable. Anyway, it's obviously I'm at home. I should be at Daniel's baseball game. You know, when you volunteer to sign up for a job like this, it's really hard to find that beautiful balance between what you want to share, what you don't want to share, what you should share, what you shouldn't share, and then like spiraling down that thought process of how the many ways things can be interpreted. So it can be a little confusing, but I feel like maybe halfway through my journey, I realized that I could do whatever I wanted to do. And obviously it backfired because people want to see the nitty-gritty, you know, the suffering, the sadness. I can look back at my analytics and pinpoint the exact moment when like my YouTube plateaued and just fell off a cliff was because I wasn't crying on the internet anymore about like going on a bad date or, you know, my divorce and stuff like that. And I guess that's why I feel good about it, because it was a good sign for myself. But part of doing what I do is sharing, you know, and I can't say I'm sharing my weekend if I'm not actually sharing my weekend. So my weekend is my extremely swollen face. After I got off the vlog with you guys yesterday, I had the worst pain for a headache that I have ever experienced in my life. And I am a thug when it comes to pain, you guys. And so I can handle pain, but I really thought that, I mean, I was worried. I was thinking about it now. I'm like terrified. I couldn't even chew without it feeling like my brain was going to pop out of like my eyes, my ears, my nostrils. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. In fact, I shouldn't even be here right now, but Sophia wanted to go to the potty because she's like, Mom, I can't be in a dark room for 20 hours. So you'll have to excuse the romance lighting. It was hard. The only time that I could actually get some rest was, it almost felt like the pain was so much that I had to force myself to fall asleep. Come here. I had to force myself to fall asleep in order to not feel it. It was weird. And then the pain would wake me up. So it was like this cycle of awake, asleep, awake, asleep, awake, asleep. Finally, this morning around, I think it was 3:30 or 4 a.m., Parker got called into work. And it seemed like the pain got worse. the best way I can describe it is so weird. I could describe the pain kind of like moving across my face. It felt like there was a rod that was just going across my face, across, and every time I would feel it in that certain spot, but that spot would feel like it was going to burst. Side note, before I forget, if you guys suffer from migraines, I'm going to link a migraine cap that is going to make you feel stupid. It looks ridiculous. It feels really, really uncomfortable until it doesn't, but it works to give you relief. It doesn't take the migraine away, but it gives you relief. And I think that's the only reason I was able to fall asleep last night for a good chunk. I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 hours. So I'll link that. It's in the freezer now because I'm trying to like redo it. I jumped on Amazon quicker than I've ever jumped on Amazon this morning because I was like, I need 2 so that when one melts, I got the other backup, you know, in rotation. So luckily I was able to find it on sale and for delivery between 10 to 3 today. So God's on my side. So I did the stupidest thing ever. And I told you guys years ago, if you've been here, I think I was vlogging that weekend. I had a really bad migraine and I hadn't had a migraine in years. I mean, the last time I had a migraine was when I was a teacher. And I think Parker and I were already in this house. So it was about 4 or 5 years ago. And I told him, I can't, you need to take me to the emergency room. I need to do something. I don't know how to act. I haven't had a migraine in years. So they gave me this medication. It's a triptan. And it knocked me out. Like involuntarily made me pass out for like 9 hours. Thankfully, it was a Saturday. We had no plans and the boys were with Dad. And I didn't like that. I was like, I can't. I mean, the pain left. The pain has left me. I feel better, but I can't be out of commission for 8 or 9 hours. And it's just not possible. I don't have that luxury. So last night I took my combo that typically works, that worked for years since then after discovering that my migraines were here to stay, which was a triptan and a naproxen combo. And the last time I used it, remember I told you guys this was like 2 vlogs ago, it didn't work. It didn't work last night either. So that was last night at 8 after I jumped off the vlog with you guys. And this morning at 8, when I realized Parker still wasn't back, I called Daniel and I was like, I'm sorry, buddy, I'm going to miss your game. And I get so emotional because, God, he's my easiest. And I don't mean my easiest. He's easy for everything. Like the other day I said, hey, buddy, I know you don't enjoy haircuts. So for him, I do a trim and then a haircut, a trim and then a haircut. So every other haircut, he gets a haircut every other time that I cut Mateo and Parker's hair because he doesn't like it. It's like, you need a trim. I literally wasn't done saying you need a trim. He's already in my bathroom, sitting in the stool, waiting for it. There was no question. There was no argument. There was no dragging. There was no touch my iPad on the way there. Like he's just easy. So to miss out on something like that really makes me sad because he never asks anything from me, you know? Even when I had to go pick him up from school, I didn't share that with you guys because he was like in the vlog the entire time last week. The nurse calls me and she's like, hey, he's in my office. His teacher asked me to check on him. His cheeks are really flushed. He doesn't have a fever, but she's saying that he's like sleepier than normal. Like he's lethargic, for lack of a better word. She didn't use that word. I don't remember what word she used, but it was like, he's acting slower. So she called him in and she had to tell me to go pick him up because he didn't want to come home. And I was like, what would you recommend? Like, he doesn't have a fever. He has a little bit of like a mild cough and he doesn't, I told Parker that morning, I was like, I feel like he should stay home. I feel like he's telling me he feels fine because his brother's always sick and he doesn't want to bother me. He reminds me so much of me, where he wants to make himself invisible when he doesn't feel good. Whereas I want to be the center of attention when things are stressful and like I want to be the entertainer. But when I don't feel good, when I have a need, I want to make myself as invisible as possible and like take care of myself. And I hate that because it means he's learning that like hyper independence, which is not good. I'm not doing a good job on that front, so I need to address it. So telling him that I was going to miss his tournament today makes me sad because I don't want to. Anyway, so I did something stupid in the hopes that maybe I can go to his second game, which is at 1 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock now. And so I told Parker, I was like, hey, I know you got called out to work. Like, what's your estimated time frame here? Because I just took 2 medications that I can't take together in hopes that it will work. So when you come home, A, it's going to have worked and I'll be a brand new woman. B, it will not have worked and you're going to have to rush me to an urgent care or like an ER because I will want to jump out of a window. Or C, I'll be unconscious because I had a stroke. So of course he's like, do you need me to leave the scene? I'm like, no, I just took the medication, so we got to see if it's going to work. I know. She's like horrifically judging me right now. I miss having the boys, like the boy dogs, the Thurber and Wesley, because if I was crying, there's like no way I wasn't going to get tears on them. They were like trying to make me feel better. Sophia's like, why are you crying, bro? She's my... Hi, BB. She's my toxically independent. Also, have you seen those dog memes and reels that are like, does your dog bite? No, my dog prays for you. Or does your dog bite? No, my dog judges you. That's my dog. Anyway, so I took 2 triptans that, you know, 12 hours apart. Like you can take them 24 hours apart. I took them 12 hours apart. I figure probably not going to die. The pain isn't as bad, but it's still really bad. So Parker's on his way home. I told him, I was like, take your time, do a good job, finish your scene. Don't worry about me. That we should get that tattooed on our faces. Don't worry about me. Like literally just do what you got to do because this is going to take a while. Any place you take me to, they're going to say, what did you take? And they're going to need some space and time before they give me anything else that doesn't interfere. I am liking the volume in my hair this morning. I was just talking about how like, oh, I don't blubber on the internet anymore. And Exhibit A. I think that something changed in my body in the last couple of years because I think I'm allergic to triptans now, like the rizatriptan, the sumatriptan. Those are the 2 that I've been prescribed. I think it's like Max Salt and something else if you get the fancy brand. Because if I take more than 2 doses, if I take 2 doses or more, my lips start to get super tingly. My hands get really red and swollen. Like I can't take my ring off. And then I get like splotchy, like little tiny, they look like needle pricks, little red needle pricks on my arm. Like it's like a rash that's like under your skin. So I think that might be worth mentioning to my doctor the next time, the next time I see them. So right now my lips are like, I don't know. They feel really strange. Like numb almost. I don't know. Numb and tingly. It's a weird feeling. Please don't look at me like that. I'm going to be okay. I wish I had healthy boundaries with myself in terms of mothering. I'm going to try and get this through without shedding a single tear. It's not going to happen. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard to be the mom that I wanted, to be my own mom, but also to be a good mom to my kids, that I don't have respectful boundaries of myself. Like right now, I'm trying really hard to like shake it off and maybe shower and eat a good meal so that I can go watch Daniel's second game. Because I know even if he says it doesn't matter, it does. Talking about healthy boundaries with myself, I'm vlogging right now and I feel like I should be not dying. I'll check in with you guys later and tell you what ended up happening. I certainly can't dehydrate myself from crying. Bye, guys. Guys, sometimes you just need a burrito and a really big sob to shake it up, you know, like to wake you up and be like, that's right. I'm not a wimp. I got this. No, just kidding. I still feel pretty crappy. But I texted Mateo and I was like, hey, how'd you guys do? How was the first game? And he like gave me the don't. Like if I ask Parker or Daniel, how was your day? I get the one word like gold nugget. Fine. Good. You know, if I ask Mateo, I get the trilogy. Needless to say, after that good cry and the massive breakfast burrito that this hottie brought me, I'm like, you know, I can be the mom that I needed. And I can be the mom that I know my baby Daniel needs. So I text Mateo and I was like, how did it go? What's the deal? What's the update? What's gonna happen? Well, he's pitching the next game, so I have an hour to get there. I think it'll take me 30 minutes to get there. I can suck it up for a couple hours, you know? Parker's hanging back. He had to leave early for work, super tired, and Randers is on her way over, so they're gonna have a little, I always wanna say mommy and me time, a little daddy-daughter bonding while I'm gone, and then maybe we can like eat together or something. All my eggs are in the basket that this is just like a fluke, and I'm just struggling to get my bearings back, and I don't really have like some terminal illness in my brain developing, you know what I mean? So any well wishes, prayers, happy emojis, pictures of baby dogs. If you send me an Etsy order and you want to send me pictures of your dogs, that also counts as a prayer. Anyway, I wanted to update you guys because I know a lot of you are just sitting there like super concerned that I just lost my marbles on the internet again. You're like, instead of rizatriptan, maybe you need Prozac. I know you're thinking it. Okay, so we are heading out. I'll show you guys a little bit of the game. Hopefully I get a good seat. I told Mateo to save me a spot in the parking lot too, because they have like 4 parking spaces. Like, you know, it's like, it's a downtown thing. It's what downtown people do, is they do this massive city that grows vertically and then give you 2 parking spaces. So hopefully that won't be the reason that I have a meltdown this glorious afternoon. So we're heading out the door. I'll show you that. I don't know what we have in store. I told Parker, I was like, I know you're a fixer and I know you're a planner. Well, not like a planner like I am, but like a 5 minutes in front of you planner. So here's the deal. I'm gonna go to the game. You hang out with Randers. If when I leave the game, I'm still at a 2 out of 5 in pain, I'll come home, we'll go to the doctor, we'll figure this out. If I'm not, we'll come home and then we'll eat. I mean, we're gonna eat regardless, but that's the update. So that's the update for you guys. And this one's been real upset that all she gets to do is sleep all day. To be an old dog in a psycho woman's home, could you imagine? Like, they cater to your every need. They give you all the free loving.
They bother you all day long. Oh, what is that? You got an eye booger? Oh my goodness, there we go. Hi. Are you gonna miss me? Are you gonna miss your mama? You're gonna stay with Daddy. Rather, you're gonna stay with your boyfriend.
I always say, Parker, when you get home, can you just please say hi to her first? Because he runs and he says hi to me, which I love that he doesn't say hi to the kids first, you know, like most husbands. I'm like, no, you say hi to your wife. Like, this is number 1. No. Say hi to your girlfriend first, because she will have a meltdown. Yeah, I'm putting you on blast on the internet. She will have a meltdown if you ignore her when you get home from work. Watch. You don't believe me. Hey, Parker. Yes. What does Sophia do when you get home from work and you don't say hi to her first?
Oh, she pouts a bit. Yeah.
What's like her body language? What does she do with her?
Fussy. She's twitchy.
She like karate kicks you?
Yes,
I was telling him, I'm like, oh, she freaks out. You don't come home and say hi to her first. She will make her presence known. What'd you do? You saving the salsas?
She'll wait patiently for about 40 seconds. And then she'll be okay if I say hi to you first, but then if I don't, start storming off. Coming back. And when she comes back, it's not a very, I'm happy to see you. It's a very, I'm very disappointed in you.
I'm disappointed in you, and you're lucky I'm here.
Yeah, like, last chance.
come to this urgent care a lot of times, but I'll never get the gurney. Do you think it means I'm dying?
Yes.
It's nice. They put us in the dark room. Oh, look at, I get my very own gurney. I don't think I've been on many gurneys in my life without children coming out of me.
Do it again. Good job, Daniel. Good job.
Hey, you guys. Happy Monday. It's about 10 o'clock. Let's get the red rashy elephant out of the room. My kids gave me their fifth disease. One of you guys left me a comment and it said, oh, Dani, that sounds like fifth disease. And I was like, don't talk to me that way. So I Google it. The name just sounds really severe, but it's just a very common viral thing that happens with kids. I think this is just a testament to say how close I am to my children. So anyway, I have to update you guys on the weekend we had. So I think I left you guys off when I was like a blubbering mess. And then I was like, I picked myself up by my britches and I'm going to go to Daniel's game, right? I think that's where we left off. And so I went to the game and I was kind of okay. You know, I took 2 different Triptans, one the day before, one the day after, which you're not supposed to, you know, mix like that. I didn't have a reaction. I didn't have a stroke. I didn't end up in the emergency room, which was great. The game was fun. I came home and my headache just slowly started to kind of creep up again. We went to dinner with Parker and Randon. We had delicious udon. Came home and I couldn't sleep. There was like no possible way that I got in a shred of it. I could not be comfortable. I felt like my brain was going to explode out of my ears, my nose, my eyes. Like there was no way. I was like, can I do that procedure that you see on TV that they make it look so easy, where they drill into your skull, put in it looks like a catheter, and then they like drain it slowly? Because I'm convinced that's what I need. My brain is hemorrhaging. So I told Parker, if by the time our local emergency room, the one that we love to go to, like, do you guys have a favorite emergency room? That's how old you know I am. I have an emergency room that is tried and true, love the doctors, in and out in an hour at the most, at the very most. They're not afraid to give you medication. They don't patronize you. I'll tell you why in a second. And I was like, if I don't feel better by the time that their emergency hours turn into urgent care hours, because I'm not about to pay premium. Look, it is a hard financial time right now, okay? And if you can wait a couple more, I've already been dying for 3 days. I can die for a couple more hours. So the minute that they change from ER to urgent care, like pro tip, if you didn't know that, call your local ER. They have urgent care hours and they have emergency room hours, significantly different. Parker takes me and so you know how like you have your camera roll on your phone full of pictures of your husband or your significant other, full of pictures of your kids, full of pictures of your dogs, and there's probably like maybe 2 pictures of you that you tried to take and you look dumb, or it looks like you're being a tryhard. And if you ask your husband, hey, can you send me some pictures, recent pictures of me, because I'm trying to like do something, they have like 2 of you, and one is like because you had camel toe and the other one's because he thought it was funny when you were vomiting, you know, something like man humor. So like Parker never takes pictures of me, and we have to have a talk about that, you know, like I need to have some memories. And so we go to the ER and they have like 2 areas. I had never been to this area. This is like the gurney area. We always go to like like the wooden bench area. You know what, like when you go to the pediatrician, you know how they have like that raised, it's like a raised bed with paper on it. That's usually where we go for like a sinus infection, for COVID or whatever. Not me. A knock on wood. I feel like this is something I should be able to brag about. Like I haven't gotten that. Daniel and I, never. Parker got it twice. Mateo's gotten it 3 times. Mateo's also the one that brought this home. We need to talk about hygiene in this house. They put us in the dark side of the hospital and there's like a gurney and it's like, Parker's like, it's a hospital bed. I'm like, okay, it's just still hospital-y. And the doctor comes in, awesome doctor. He's like this doctor that looks like he has had, seriously, what's happening? He's a doctor that looks like he's had probably 4 lifetimes. I'm going to stab somebody. Holy crap, unless it's my friends and I won't stab them. So he's like one of those doctors that looks like he's lived like 4 lifetimes. He was probably in like the George Bush wars. He probably has been married and divorced a few times. He's probably recovered from some kind of trauma or addiction. Like this man looks like he could write the juiciest memoir, but also is awesome. Like I have strong feelings for this man, and not in a romantic way. Like he seems like he would be cool to invite to a barbecue or like sit at the bar with, because he probably has stories. Plus he cusses, which I love. My husband never takes pictures of me unless I ask, and they're usually up for debate. There's been a couple of times that I remember that he takes really cute pictures without me asking, and both times, 2 separate times, I was with a goat. So... a little goat. So he thinks this is the moment. Like he thinks this is his prime moment to take a picture of me. And the man goes, do you like it? Doesn't it look artsy? I feel like I was able to capture the despair. Keep in mind, this is after they gave me this giant cocktail of medication and said, we're going to leave for 30 minutes and come back to see if you feel better. So... I got 2 shots in the butt. So I showed a stranger my right butt cheek. You're welcome. I hope I made his day. I told Parker, I was like, do you think I made his day? He's like, I don't know, but you made mine. I showed a stranger my butt cheek. I got 2 shots and 3 oral medications. They left the room and let me sit there for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, they came in. I was like, I feel like 5% better, but not better. He's like, okay, if you're feeling better, it's only going to get better. But this is a Band-Aid. Like this is lipstick on a pig. He sent me home with 4 prescriptions. And he's like, this is going to be your miracle magical cocktail for when you already have a migraine. My biggest recommendation would be you need to see a neurologist. He's like, but unfortunately with migraines, you can't diagnose like they're not all the same. Like if you get migraines and you get migraines, your 2 migraines aren't the same. The reason you get the migraines aren't the same. The circumstances aren't the same. The medication that works isn't the same. Migraines are one of those conditions where you just have to throw a bunch of at it and see what works. I was like, well, I used to take rizatriptan and it used to work when I was in college. It doesn't work anymore. Then I started to take sumatriptan and naproxen combined, and now that doesn't work anymore. I was telling him the common denominator here, and what I've noticed is that I am convinced I'm in perimenopause. My doctor said I'm not. I said, but what a coincidence that I get a migraine about a week before my period, and in the last 6 months, it has gotten incrementally worse, but to the point now where I couldn't see on Friday night. After I checked out with you guys about like, woohoo, our wild grain didn't defrost. It's been on the road for 12 days or 12 hours. I thought I couldn't see. I got up and I could not see. It was like when you stand up and you get lightheaded and you kind of like black out. It was like that, but it wouldn't go away. I was so scared. But I was like, I'm not going to call 911 for something stupid because I know it's a migraine. What are they going to do? Like, I'm going to go get a massive bill. They're going to shoot me up with pain medication. I'm going to like sleep at a hospital and be all weird and miss my Sophie girl. Miss out on my Sophie girl. Worry Parker for nothing. You know, miss Daniel's tournament. So I got terrified. And so when I was telling the ER doctor, I'm like, I'm convinced I'm in perimenopause. And he's like, really? How old are you? I'm like, 40 this year. He's like, are your periods still regular? I'm like, sort of. I'm like, from the time I got my period when I was 15, late bloomer, I've gotten my period from the 23rd to the 30th. Every every year of my life. After I got pregnant, after I had the kids, after I had my ablation from the 23rd to the 30th, every year of my life. And now in the last, I would say 6 to 9 months, it skips a week. It like speeds up a week, slows down a week. So I'm like in this like 3-week gap before or after, before or after. I'm like, so for me, that has such a specific, predictable period for it to shift a week back and forth. That's a big deal. He's like, well, are you still having children? I'm like, no. Are you planning on having children? No. Have you had a child recently? I'm like, no. And he's like, okay. Did they check your thyroid? And I was like, yes. And that came back fine. He's like, and the migraines are getting worse? Yes. How about this, this, and this? And he was like, and she said, you're not in perimenopause? His expression alone and the fact that he's a male gave me all the validation that I need in the world to feel better about me knowing my own body and being convinced I'm in perimenopause. Like, there's not a real test for this. You know, there's so many other things that you need to look at. So it was really nice it wasn't nice to go to the emergency room, but it was nice to get some validation on how I've been feeling. So when I went back for my follow-up, I didn't tell you guys this. I went back for my follow-up to my OBGYN, like the nurse practitioner, and she didn't even touch me. She looked at her chart. She's like, yep, your blood work came back fine. Got your mammogram results. Oh, so you had to do the scan and the ultrasound again. Okay, well, that looks fine too. So, I mean, do you have any questions? And then you can come, you seem to be good. Then why do I feel like the inside of my lint trap? Anyway, I'm not going back to that. Like, unless I need a pap smear, I'm not going back to my lady parts doctor to talk to her about lady things, which makes me sad. So I'm going to need your guys' help. I'm going to list maybe 5 or 6 functional medicine doctors that I was recommended personally, like in my network around us. This is a list that I was recommended, but I don't know what to look for. Like, there's one that came really highly recommended, but they also do like Juvederm and Botox in that office, which I'm pro Botox. If it didn't make my head hurt for 3 days after I get it, I would still be doing it. But it also makes me feel weird. Like, are they really going to, are they really good at what they're saying they're good at? Which it was the one that came the highest recommended. And Parker's like, do you know how much money cosmetic injectables bring in? And I was like, bruh, how do you know about that? He's like, I'm sure that's how they pay their rent or their lease or whatever. He's like, I'm sure that's how they make their money. And the other thing is just what the doctor's passion is. And I was like, Virgos, you know? Rational thinkers, that pragmatic brain. So what was the update? So we went to the ER. I came home, like I left the ER and I like slowly started to feel better. We came home, I think it was around 10 and Daniel's game was at 1. So I came home at 10 and Parker's like, please, for the love of God, go take a nap. Because he knows that the minute I just start to feel a little bit okay, I just overdo it. So he's like, go take a nap. I'm like, okay. So he like burritoed me in, like treated me like a child, burritoed me in, filled my water bottle, closed all the blinds, put Sophia on the bed and left the room. Isn't that cute? Like that he knows that it's so important, like for him to leave the room. Left the room. I fell asleep. We woke up, went to Daniel's game from 1 to, I think it was 1 to 2:30 or 1 to 3. That was hard to watch. It was hard to watch in the state that I was feeling because I was feeling really groggy because of I was juiced up. And so it was hard. And it was hard to watch because like Daniel got hurt a few times. He was really overwhelmed. After the game, he came up to me and he hugged me and he's like, Mom, I don't know if I can do this anymore. My team weighs a lot. And it made me sad because unfortunately he's emotionally mature, like on another level. And so he takes things seriously, but where his peers won't meet him, you know, like another 9 or 10-year-old isn't going to meet him at his level. So he feels pressure differently. And like his dedication, I don't know where he got it because I'm not like that. I am like you know, it's hard for me to get dedicated to anything. It's hard for me to find discipline in anything because I get distracted so easily, or because I get distracted so easily. And so this child is like one part discipline, one part mature, one part cuddles. He's just, you know, both of my kids have these beautiful, like, character traits that I wish I could like bottle up and keep forever or sell. give away because they deserve to be like around. You know what I mean? And he just leans into me, and he had like turf burn, and a bat hit him in his catcher's hand. So like his catcher's hand where you wear the glove, one of the swingers, when they swung back so far, they whipped him right at the top of his wrist, and his glove went flying. And so it was a bad day on Sunday. I feel like I brought my sick energy with me. So they just came home, and they were all like deflated and hot and hurt. And we just kind of had a lazy day, talked about, you know, my headache. And I mean, by the time it was dinner, by the time we got home from the game, I told Parker, I'm so hungry. And he's like, so you feel better? And I was like, 1,000%. So I got a steroid shot, a Toradol shot, a nausea pill, a Benadryl pill, and one more pill. I don't remember what that one. It was some kind of, it wasn't Triptan. It was like a pain medication. And the doctor was like, don't tell anybody. I stole that combo from Baylor. When people come in, add a migraine, and we need to just bring them down, this is the combo. And I was like, my man. He was like, I'm also not supposed to tell you this, so don't tell anybody. I'm telling you this. He said, but sometimes a really fast remedy is no dose and either coffee or a Coke, like a soda. And I was like, no dose? No dose? What is that? Is that like Four Loko? That's what it sounded to me. That's what it sounded like to me. Like, is that like Four Loko? And Parker just starts laughing. He's like, no dose. He's like, I haven't heard about that since college. Apparently it's like some janky caffeine pill you can buy online or like find at the liquor store. Like truckers use it a lot. And I was like, that just sounds like a bad idea. We get home from Daniel's game, and Parker had Amazoned it to the house. He's like, hey, look, it never hurts to just be prepared. So I don't know, maybe you guys can try that. So the no dose and a Coke or a coffee is, he said, another thing that he's heard works. Yeah, I mean, after we got home from the game and I was starving, we had a massive Subway sandwich, and we just relaxed and watched a really bad movie with Jamie Foxx. I wasn't even paying attention. I checked out. I was like on my phone. It's Monday. You know, Monday I wake up and I'm like, God, is this what it feels like to be alive again? I feel so restored. I don't even remember what it was like to be in my perimenopause slump of like lethargy, no appetite, super cranky, ragey, like volatile mood, lack of motivation. Like it was getting dreary there for a second. But I'm starting to think that it is sort of like a buildup to my period. Like all of these symptoms start and they pile on top of each other until I get the migraine, and then boom, I get my period. That's not normal. And if it is, I don't want to be a girl anymore. That's bullshit, you know, because the older you get, your period gets worse. Look, I done had my kids. I don't need to be like checking in like, hey, are you still viable? Like, what is that? That's rude. You know what it should do? It should slowly go away, not get worse or unpredictable. Like it's not fair. That's the best way I can describe it, is it makes me want to cry because it's not fair that it's just getting worse. Anyway, yesterday was gone. Today is Monday. The boys are back in school. I wake up in the best mood ever. I'm like, yeah, this is what it's like to have energy. Parker left for work at 4. I couldn't go back to sleep. So I'm on Target checking the Circle deals. I got a bunch of sweaters. Got the grocery shopping done. Like, I'm up to date. It is 10 o'clock. I've done my prep. I did the grocery shopping. I got sweaters. I'm good. I'm good. I'm ready. What I was not expecting though is to wake up feeling great and productive, looking like Pikachu. I don't deserve that either. After 3 days of contemplating jumping out of the car onto oncoming traffic, I don't deserve to look like Pikachu. There is only one thing with red cheeks that looks cute, and that is Pikachu. I'm not Pikachu. You know, at least give me the lightning bolt powers. I'm killing time now after my so productive morning because I invited my friend Alina and Paola to hang out today. We have postponed or rescheduled our girls' meet the last 3 or 4 times. I want to say 4. So when I told them yesterday, I'm like, hey guys, 11 o'clock at my house, so excited. However, like I've been in the ER. This is what my face looks like. This is the update. And they're like, oh my God, should we reschedule? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Actually, if you guys wanted to reschedule, it would hurt my feelings because we have postponed so many times, not to mention they're coming here, you know? Like they're making it easy for me. I'm in stretchy pants. I'm in a hoodie. It's Padres, you guys. Have you seen the games against the Dodgers? Oh my goodness. Never did I think I was going to be a sports person. I don't think I can say sports. I could say baseball. Yeah, I was like, you guys are coming here. You're making it easy for me. Like if you don't want to come or if you feel bad, like please don't. I really want you guys to come over. I told them, I was like, there's only one thing that I do want to do, but I don't want to drive. And they're like, okay, what's up? I'm like, I want to go and see if my local Ulta has mini brands. Have you guys seen the mini brands? So mini brands is like this really popular brand, but it's a toy for children. If you go to like Walmart or Target, you see them all the time. It's the whole novelty of like mystery unboxing things. So you don't know what's going to be in your giant capsule, but it's like mini shoes, mini dolls, mini animals, mini kitchen things, mini fast food restaurants. Well, they recently partnered with Ulta and it's like mini makeup. So you'll get like Urban Decay, Elf, but they're like tiny. Y'all know how I feel about many things. Not all many things. So I was like, that's the only thing I really want to do. And I was waiting for their response and they were like, yeah, let's go look. I'm like, okay, thank God. So I told them, I was like, you guys come over. Someone take me to Ulta. I need shampoo too. Someone take me to Ulta and then we can get like some food to go, come home, and you guys can shop my box. So that's the plan for today. I'm very excited about it. What else was I going to tell you? It was like so important. And I was like, before I get off the vlog, I need to tell my pandas. So wasn't the sweaters I got at Target? Man, it was important. And it was something that's like upcoming. Like I need to prepare you guys because it's, let me stop talking and maybe let my brain do some thinking for a second. Oh, I remembered. Oh my God, I remember. This is the last thing and then I'll let you guys go because I'm being super annoying and hanging out with you like you're actually here and I'm not even letting you talk. My 40th birthday is in December. If you guys are new here, you haven't been around for the last 10 years. My birthday is December 5th. And I've always been a dork about my birthday. I love my birthday. I make a big deal about my birthday. I remember counting down. When I lived at home, I would count down my birthday starting in July because it was like, I'm halfway there. Do you know what I was thinking though? Side note, I just remembered this. Do you remember how every year I tell you guys how October is like the worst month for me? It's awful. Like bad shit happens, bad memories. I don't feel good. It's when I get sick. And a lot of you guys are saying like, don't think about that. Don't think about that. You think about it and you make it happen. You manifest it. I didn't even realize it was October when it was already October. And all of keeps happening. So I know I didn't summon all this bad luck. It's just October for me. And I haven't been feeling well and all this crap's been going on and Daniel getting hurt and Mateo getting sick, you know, like I need to break the cycle. I feel like I might need to adopt a dog in October, you know? Anyway, so my 40th birthday is in December. And I told Parker, this year I'm either going to have a party or I want to take a trip. And I'm going to do it for myself and I'm going to plan it. And I'm going to tell you what I want for my birthday and I'm going to tell you what I want to do for my birthday and then you can do it. And I'm going to tell everybody that I want to be there, that I need them there, and I'm going to tell them what to bring. I am going to tell everybody that I want to participate in my birthday what I want. I'm going to be transparent with my needs. That way I'm not disappointed. Because I'm so dumb with my birthday where I'm like, I don't care about my birthday. It's just not a big deal. It's just another year. But I want people to lay out the red carpet. I want people to be like, my life is better because you were born. You know, like It's the one time of the year that like I can say, it's my day. Like, make it about me. Whereas like all the other days of the year, I'm like, what can I do for you? What can I do? How can I cook for you? Can I feed you? Do you have your PE clothes? Did you charge your laptop? Here, let me take you to baseball practice. My car is dirty because of your baseball. Like, I have to go pick up your medication and your medication. And I have to make you dinner and I have to make you lunch. And I have to like, every day of every life is for everybody in my circle. But come December 5th, I want people to learn how to play like the you know, like something just extravagant. I'm just putting it out there. This is how I feel. And this is one of the things that I have realized the closer to 40, like the less shame I feel about just putting it out there. So because it's my 40th birthday, I decided, I was like, I was going to have a party, but having a party always makes me nervous because people have a really good time at our house, but then they have to drive home and that just, I feel like I should buy them an Uber, but they don't always, it makes me feel some type of way. My favorite city to visit is San Francisco. I don't know if I've mentioned that to you guys before, but I haven't been in over 10 years. And so I have told Parker since we met, I love San Francisco. I want to go to San Francisco. I want to go to San Francisco. And Parker's bubble is so small in terms of travel. Like all the travel he's done has been with me. He went on one cruise after he got divorced and that was it. I hope it wasn't a singles cruise. So he hasn't traveled, like the most he's traveled is since we got married or together. And so he's like super excited, which just makes the trip that much more exciting. So on Friday, before the migraine hit, I think it was like Friday morning, I finished editing my vlog, my wild grain vlog, and doing the description box. And I was like, you know, I have a couple hours before I have to go to Daniel's school for his midday activity that just ruins the rest of your day. You guys, have you ever seen a color run? Like, who does that? Who does a color run? It is dirty, disgusting, suffocating. Like these children are like dying. It's like, I think it's like an Indian celebration. Like typically it's a celebration that takes place in India where they like throw powder dye or paints. But they were just doing it as a fundraiser. It was not done the way I imagine it's supposed to because I don't think that's how it's, you know what it looked like? It looked like they were doing a protest, like in a big city, and they were getting tear gas. That's what it looked like. These kids were like, it was awful. Anyway, so I had a few hours to kill between me finishing my work and then getting suffocated at the park. And so I was like, I'm going to do it. But this is the deciding factor. If my dog nanny, like my dog, I don't even know what to call it, dog sitter, because she comes to stay at your house. If she's back in business, I'm doing it. So I text her and she responded right away. I was like, are you back in business? She recommended this other guy to us when we went to, where did we go? Cancun with Randon and the boys. And it was a nightmare. This guy is awful. I wanted to change the trip. Like I wanted to come home. I don't think I ever told you guys, but he was horrendous. Originally, we were given her contact information. She was like, my dad is sick because it's summer. I'm not in college right now. So I'm just staying with him and taking care of him. I'm so sorry, but this is who I use when I go out of town. And so I was like, okay, if you use him, then he's going to be great. He was awful. Anyway, I texted her and I was like, are you back in business? She's like, yep, I'm only booked these 2 weekends. And I was like, lock it in, sister. So that was it. That was my green light. I booked the hotel. I booked the flights. I have a list going of what I want to do. And I told Parker, I was like, I want to do cliche fanny packs. I want to walk everywhere. I want to eat clam chowder every day. I want to go to like Japantown. Holy the amount of stationery I'm going to bring home and the amount of Pachaka and Karopi merch I'm going to find is just going to make my life complete. This trip has the power to heal my inner child completely. And the best part is that I get to go with my favorite person in the world. And he is the kind of person that, you know, that you hang out with people and if you're excited, you can tell when they're faking excitement. Or you can tell that they're excited for themselves, like because it's important to them. Whereas Parker will get excited because I'm happy. So it's like such a validating and heartwarming excitement. It makes it so much more special. The fact that he's only excited because he's doing it with me. So it's on lock. Like it's locked in. I'm very excited. And I've sort of been like contemplating. You guys are gonna have to let me know. So you guys know how April Athena 7 lives in the area. Would it be like weird to say, hey, do you guys want to grab dinner one night? Because I really want to meet her. And I don't want to meet her for the vlog. I don't want to meet her for, I want to meet her. I want to squeeze her and hug her and say, like, one of the people that I've admired so long on the internet, I've met them in person, like in a social setting, and not because it was like an event, just because I genuinely am curious to be creepy and hug them in person. So would you guys ask? I mean, I have her phone number. I think I have her phone number. Like it's not like we're strangers. I think we admire each other the same. I do have her phone. I have her phone number. We have each other's number. Like, would that be weird? Would you guys do it? That's going to be your homework. Your homework's going to be, have you ever gotten this? Your other oh my God, this vlog is heavily homeworked. Okay, 3 things. If you guys can help me, and you don't have to do all 3, but if you can do one of them, it would really help me. The first one is the easiest. Would you reach out and ask if she and Justin, like if they would meet us for dinner, like a double date or something? Heck, they could even bring the kids, you know? I don't care. Would you, or do you think it's like weird? 2 is, have you gotten this? And does it get better, and how soon? And then 3, could you check the description box? And if you guys are familiar with either functional medicine doctors or holistic doctors, if you're familiar with what to look for, what's important, or like from what I've expressed, what do you think I would benefit from? Like kind of take a peek at those lists and see which one you would recommend, or like you would personally go to based on what I think is wrong. That would really help me out, especially the April thing. But anyway, that is it for this vlog, you guys. I'm so sorry. I did not expect to be talking to you for 30 minutes. Like, this is not even exciting. Like, the environment isn't even changing. But I have to wrap it up. Like, my friends are going to be here in the next, like, 10 minutes. Maybe less. So I got to turn on Roomba so my house looks a little clean. But I'm feeling better, and I hope that my blubbering on the internet didn't worry any of you, or also it didn't make you happy. But I do, I feel better, and I'm just starting to like connect the dots, and everything leads back to my lady parts, which is so bad. I hate that. Like, are you guys on that? Like, being a girl is already really hard. I mean, pink tax, we can't lift heavy things, like we die a week a month. We have to carry the babies and like deform our bodies for almost a year. Like, so much pressure. And it only gets worse as you get older. It's not fair. Don't get me started again. Don't get me started. My friends are gonna be here and I'll be all razzled. Okay, anything and everything and all the things will be listed in the description box, like always. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to do your homework, and I think that's it. I love you guys so much, and you know what to do. If you found this video useful, entertaining, and learned something, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye, guys. Do you want to share the rash? No, I can't believe I just did that.